Hello there guys, what is going on? Son of Chelsea back here again for another edition of my team selector ahead of the game against Man City on Thursday in the Premier League. What a massive game this is, following on very quickly from the Aston Villa victory, which was a difficult test on the day. And this is probably the most difficult opponent we could have, considering when looking at all of the games so far in the Premier League restart, Man City have definitely been the most impressive. They've come out firing, looking motivated, looking brilliant, looking back to their best under Guardiola. And that game against Burnley last night, it was ominous. It really was how good they've looked, especially against Arsenal as well. Attacking-wise, so fluid. Looked like they haven't been away for 3 months, and I think that 3-month break seems to have helped them, and they're going to end the season on a big high. But of course, Chelsea need to do their best to stop that happening on Thursday, to stop Man City coming to the bridge and walking away with all 3 points, because we need the points, or at least a point for Champions League qualification. It's pretty simple. And it's interesting to me going into this game, listening to Frank Lampard's comments following the Aston Villa game of preparing for this one. Because you look back in that game in November when we went to the Etihad and lost narrowly 2-1. Frank started with a 4-3-3 at the time. We were on a winning run in the Premier League, and that formation was really working well. He started with a midfield three of Jorginho, Kovacic and N'Golo Kante, and the opening of that game was brilliant. I think the opening 25 minutes we played some lovely stuff, especially through midfield, but then the quality and some mistakes in midfield cost us. Riyad Mahrez, the quality of Riyad Mahrez, cutting inside and firing into the bottom corner like he does so often, done last night as well. So for Frank Lampard, also referencing Sunday's game, how are you going to eliminate those mistakes and really shore up the defence to give Chelsea the best chance, but also inject the pace and inject the danger creatively going forward. I expect us to have more space in this game than we did on Sunday, but it's all about capitalising on that as well in the attacking sense for Chelsea to score goals. So going into this game, I think Frank is going to revert to a 3-4-3. It's a formation he's used several times pretty successfully this season in certain occasions, and I just think it's one, considering the short amount of time between Villa and between this game, and as well rotation, bringing players back into the first team, giving them starts, which is going to be key within this period of games for the remainder of the Premier League season. Only a couple of days after Man City, we've got Leicester City in the FA Cup for a chance to get to the semi-final, so you expect once again rotation there. And I just think all round, I think this is the formation Frank will like to use, will like to be flexible, and I think this potentially could give us a good chance to set up well and give us a good platform to go and potentially win the game. In goal for me is going to be Kepa. I felt sorry for Kepa, made a big save and really should have had a clean sheet. I felt the reaction on the rebound was really poor from Chelsea there for Villa's goal. So he's going to be in goal once again. Dave, I've got to give more credit to Dave, because I didn't give enough credit to him in my review on Sunday. I mistakenly gave the second assist for Giroud's winner to Christian Pulisic, but it was actually Dave on replay that when I went back and watched, because Dave had wandered off into the left. He was supposed to be on the right, but he wandered off onto the left to create that goal. Absolutely brilliant from Dave, showing his attacking influence, which is something in his game that frustrates us. But right there, especially that first goal, you know, the cross in was Reece James-esque, and it was brilliant from Dave. But this position in particular, one of Dave's best ever seasons for Chelsea was under Conte in that back three, and he really works well here. And know you can slot him into a central defensive role for this game, so I'd like to see him there. Alongside him, Andreas Christensen, I think for me, between Rudiger and Christensen, yes, I complain that I think both are very shaky, but in truth, I think Christensen had a better game, more solid game, improved in the second half. Still had a few areas in him that does worry me, but I thought we had a better game than Rudiger, so I think it's fair that he's in the middle of a back three, and it's going to be a less physical game than it was against Aston Villa, which could benefit Andreas Christensen. Then on the left of the defence, I'm going to go with Kurt Zouma. Now, my worry is with Kurt Zouma, when you put him out on the left, he isn't as good, but I'd rather have him back in the defence in some shape or form, because I think he deserves to be. I think he's been Chelsea's best centre-back this season. I think he's great on one-on-ones, which is going to be a big issue with Riyad Mahrez, and trying to deal with Riyad Mahrez and Raheem Sterling and all of City's brilliant attacking players. I think Kurt Zouma could be brilliant on Thursday for that, so I'm going to have him in my defence as well. Right wing back Reece James only had a brief cameo, didn't look that good in truth. He gave the ball away a couple of times, but I'd like to see him back at right wing back, adding that width, pace, creativity, and dealing with the threat of Man City on the left side. And then in my midfield two is going to be N'Golo Kante, who had a brilliant game in central midfield alongside Matteo Fabinho, Kovacic, tackling, ball progression, press resistance. I think all of those things are going to be key for Chelsea, because Chelsea, as I said earlier in the video, are still creative side. We still need creative players within midfield, and Kovacic can be brilliant of getting through midfield and then starting attacks. And Kante is the same, but I think that's the most stable midfield two I can think of, and I think Frank will probably opt for it, especially N'Golo Kante after a brilliant performance on Sunday. Left wing back, we're going to be Marcos Alonso, left wing back specialist at this point. Then I'm looking at the inverted wingers, as Frank has used before. Mason Mount for me was probably overall man of the match. I gave it to Christian Pulisic, probably excited by Pulisic's return and goal, but I thought Mason Mount was absolutely brilliant. His energy, his dynamic movement, moving from side to side, I think really worked well, and I want him in Chelsea's team, and I think he can cause havoc in one of these wide roles, really linking up with the striker. I think Mount definitely for me is going to be given a start, especially with his fitness as well. I think will really be of a benefit to Chelsea in Thursday's game. And for me, the interesting thing is with Christian Pulisic, and I'm going to say of course Christian Pulisic to start, came off the bench, scored the equaliser, really helped change the game in attacking sense for Chelsea. For me, has to start in this game. But the interesting thing, if you go back, Frank has never used Christian Pulisic in a 3-4-3 when he started it. He's usually gone for Mason Mount, Willian, usually even Ross Barkley sometimes in these games. And I think that Christian Pulisic, for me, has to start. I think his influence, his anticipation for goals. And if we're not going to have a lot of the ball against Man City, and most of our attacks are going to come through counter-attacking opportunities, you need someone in there who's used to scoring goals, anticipation from the back post, potentially crosses from Reece James that Pulisic can benefit off. At the back post, I'd love to see Christian Pulisic start. I think he has to, and I think Frank's comments pretty much, to me, veer in the direction that Pulisic will be in this starting 11 on Thursday. I'd be stunned if he isn't. And up top, Olivier Giroud scored 3 in his last 4 Premier League games for Chelsea. Scored the winner on Sunday. Yes, if we are talking about counter-attacking, I wouldn't be stunned if Tammy Abraham is starting to add that pace and energy up top. Of course, Tammy didn't really play at all on Sunday. Came on for a little bit, a little cameo at the end like Reece James, and could be feeling very fresh. But Lampard, with his meritocracy, would have wanted to give players minutes when they earn them. I think Giroud continuing to score goals, I think it's going to be massive for Frank Lampard. I wouldn't be stunned, as we constantly say with these games, it's so rapid, it's so intense in terms of the games that Chelsea have to play, like every team has to play. And Frank may want to think that this is a good time to rotate, especially if maybe Tammy starts, drags defenders around, a bit more pace in the attack, and then later on in the game you can bring on the experience of Giroud for a different option up top, for a bit more physical option, especially maybe if Chelsea are chasing a game, want to hold up the ball a little bit more, if we're defending a lead potentially. But I'm going to start Olivier Giroud just based on his recent form. So that is my team for the game on Thursday evening. Please let me know your lineups in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you did enjoy it, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Follow me on Twitter @SonOfChelsea. Have a great day, and I'll see you again.